Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran and this video is another episode for WoW Update, a type of video series where I really just sit down and kind of kick it back with you guys, talk about a few things that have happened recently in World of Warcraft that I just couldn't make a separate video for. I want to make sure I do this type of series pretty regularly, and I'm pretty sure I missed to do this last week, but it's a type of series where I just sit down and chat about things that I'm interested in that I just don't really feel like it's worth making a full video for. A type of video format where I really want for you guys to interact with me in the comments and just get some of my opinions out there. So without further ado, let's first dive into the actual meat and bones of the topics on hand, and then towards the end of the video, I do have a couple words myself. First topic is, if you're someone who loves transmogs, you'll notice that on PTR and coming out in December 11th, you're going to be able to transmog fist weapons and one-handers into one another. So if you're not aware when it comes to WoW weapons and how weapons are coordinated and categorized, so you have either one-handers, daggers, and fist weapons, for example, for rogues. One-handers count for one-handed axes, one-handed maces, and one-handed swords. Fist weapons have been always in their own category, but they function very similar to one-handers in terms of damage output, and I guess in terms of the effect. They go in one-handed weapon and are used for dual wielding in most cases. And then of course there's daggers, and daggers kind of like in their own category. For transmogging purposes, fist weapons and one-handers have been kind of apart from each other. So if you have an axe, you can make it into a mace or a sword, or vice versa. But if you have a fist, you're kind of stuck to a fist. With patch 8.1, Blizzard is going to allow for fist weapons to be counted kind of together as a one-hander. So when you are looking for transmogs, and if you have, let's say, a sword, a mace, a fist, or an axe, you can now transmog it into any one of those weapons that's a heavier weapon that's not a dagger that goes into your main hand. This is pretty cool, and I like the idea of us being able to use our artifact weapons over any weapon. So let's say you have a fist or an axe or a mace, I can still utilize my artifact weapon skins that I got back in Legion. So that's how I kind of was able to bypass having a fist weapon or an axe or whatever in main hand or offhand, because that artifact weapon kind of replaces the look of any weapon that's in my hand. But now I can actually utilize a lot more one-handers, and I can play around with some fist weapons. For example, there's one that looks really cool on the cover for the islands on the World of Warcraft website. I mean, I'm an Outlaw rogue main, and here's a blue boy in rogue gear with pirate hooks for fist weapons. It looks absolutely insane. All I need is shark bait and my whole pirate mog will be complete. Just want to make sure you guys are aware of what's going on in terms of mogs, because from here on out, we're just simply going to do a bit of discussion on some of the news topics. Let's first talk about World of Warcraft, Blizzard, Activision, and the idea of Blizzard going mobile. Is there any possibility at all that Blizzard might end up making more mobile stuff, and what are the chances of parts of World of Warcraft, if not the whole game, going on mobile? Now, this was a huge event with Diablo Immortals and the big upset that it was for a lot of players. It also gave us a bit more information that Blizzard is actually committing core developers, some of their better, more experienced developers, to the mobile market. So of course it's a question of what are the chances of maybe something like World of Warcraft or parts of World of Warcraft being on mobile. First of all, I don't think there's an issue with a game being on mobile, and mobile games generally are not bad, but what business practice have shown us is they're generally out there just to give you a loot box style system or pay for convenience, and they really are free, but more a freemium game that really wants for you to spend some money so you can play it like a normal human being. So with that practice being said, of course, a lot of people weren't happy to hear something like Diablo Immortal, a game that's supposed to be another Diablo game, going on mobile. We have functional PCs, so we don't really need phones. For a second, phones and the way they do monetization is generally trash. Third, it just kind of breaks the norm. So what I like to do sometimes is just put myself in the shoes of Diablo player. Imagine if I'm just been expecting a World of Warcraft expansion for a year or even 2 or 3 or however many it's been since Diablo 3 at this point. And then once they announce it, they just tell me it's an expansion. on your phone. It would be the worst. But could parts of World of Warcraft be on mobile? Because from what we know with Blizzard, they did say that they want a lot more developers working on mobile stuff. Can we expect any part of World of Warcraft? Is there any aspect of the game that could be put on mobile where it actually wouldn't be the worst thing in the world? All I'm trying to do is kind of make a hypothetical situation because, again, Blizzard said they are going to be diving into it. First of all, I don't think WoW could be played on mobile. Let's get that out of the way. I know they're trying to prune the game, and you can make the rotations as easy as 3 buttons, as some classes really do feel like 3-button rotations. But I don't think you could actually make World of Warcraft on mobile. Or could you? But Blizzard has done mobile games or mobile apps for World of Warcraft in the past. In the past, they had the Armory app that allowed you to do a little bit of auction house stuff. Then you also had the Companion app, which was a very welcome companion app during Legion, where you had to maintain and keep up with all of your command tables. You can do that from school or from work, and at the time I was still in college, so it was helpful when I'm sitting and waiting for class, and I'm just making sure my order hall resources are being used properly, so then I can actually go and play the game, because a part of the content was kind of time-gated behind the order hall and missions. And now we're here, and order hall missions are not nearly as important anymore. We do have command tables, but they're not nearly as, I guess, they're not as necessary. We don't have any missions that lock us out to story. They might be adding something like that at a later time, but it doesn't even look like in patch 8.1. It's just a bit of content that's just so watered down because people hated it so much that there's really no reason to do it once you have all your rep. I mean, I guess you can work with it to get a little bit extra Azerite power, but even then it doesn't feel like some kind of a crazy advantage in any sort. So what was the point, and what can be done if you are going to bring any parts of World of Warcraft to mobile? My first thought was, why don't pet battles go mobile? I mean, the idea of a pet battle, it's really down to 3 buttons, and the UI for it will be very simple. I mean, it will be as easy as taking the current pet battle UI, without any add-ons of course, and trying to apply that for mobile. Just a way for you maybe to do like a weekly or daily challenge from your phone on pet battles, maybe where you can fight against NPCs that can work towards your actual pet battle collection, and maybe a way for you to queue against other people and have like these I guess PvP matches against others with pets. I think honestly that part of content is something I didn't really dive into, but it seems so light and kind of like its own thing. It's almost like a game within a game, and its own set of rules and its own balancing systems and its own core audience for it. I feel like something like pet battles on mobile wouldn't be the worst idea, because it's simple and it feels like it could be done very easily. I know that normally you have to, let's say, in-game, let's say fly from trainer to trainer in order to, get world quests done and certain challenges done. But maybe if you had the Battle Pet add-on, you could maybe get those done from your phone if you wanted to. So if you're into this kind of thing, you can. Is it going to affect raids? Is it going to affect transmogs? Is it going to affect any of those parts? No, because the rewards really do go in terms of the Battle Pet like its own ecosystem. So I feel like if they were to take something like this maybe, or maybe certain other aspects and throw that on phone too, I feel like that's perfectly fine. I guess it's a question of, if you are going to be making a mobile game, are they trying to make a brand new game that people will actually want to spend money on? Are you trying to make some kind of a title, or maybe like a spin-off thing off of, let's say, World of Warcraft name, kind of like what they, I guess, were trying to do with Diablo Immortal, and I think they're still gonna go through it. Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't canceled like on the spot as soon as BlizzCon happened. But are they trying to make a brand new thing, or use the IP to make a brand new real game, or are they thinking of just making more stuff that you can do in WoW just from phone? And that's, I guess, the question. If they made Battle Pets its own game, or its own theme, its own thing really, I'd be okay. Like ported. But I don't think they will be porting things though. I think they are trying to come up with some brand new ideas. If Blizzard wants to do and come up with brand new ideas for the mobile market, that's fine. The only issue I guess would be is, as long as it doesn't impede on any of the current games they have right now. I don't really know what they could do. Maybe something with StarCraft. Maybe like a version of MOBA just on phone. Like Heroes of the Storm, which is you have 4 abilities. If you were to put that on phone, maybe like port it. Or if they were to come up with a brand new game, even though honestly I never really thought of phone games as real games. I can't think of a single phone game where there's like some kind of crazy lore and crazy story. It's just such a weird concept to me. Is it possible? Sure, but it's such a small screen. I want to plug it to a big screen so I can see the whole thing. If there was a game that's good, that's really, really good, I want to just get an emulator on my PC so I could see it in its full glory and play it with a keyboard and mouse, kind of like how games have been played all their life. You know what I mean? I mean, when I look at, let's say, a port of, I don't know, PUBG compared to the PC version, the PC version feels like the real game. It feels like that's how you're supposed to play it. That's how it was intended to be played. But then you look at the mobile version and you're like, it's a little janky. There's parts that work, but it's kind of just there, kind of casual. I can't see anybody going ham with it, you know? Maybe it's just I haven't been around for that long. Maybe there is a game that's actually worth. Although I just cannot imagine myself playing something like that at the moment. So I guess that's all I can really say on the regards on that topic. And finally, I'm going to talk a bit about 8.1. Some people have been saying that patch 8.1 is going to be the real release of Battle for Azeroth, and the release that we got at the beginning wasn't quite perfect. Now, I want to get my thoughts on that statement. Patch 8.1, I will agree, is going to feel kind of like the real release for BFA. I've been excited for December 11th for a while now, with all the different changes they're doing to all these classes that I want to play, all these classes I want to see, actually being useful, all the different content that's coming out, the raid, the brand new mechanics for it. It feels like there's just so much that's going to be coming out compared to what we've had so far. It's kind of overwhelming. I don't really know if BFA, a lot of people say that there's just nothing to do in Battle for Azeroth. And I'll be honest, it has been feeling like a little bit of a lull for the last 2 weeks for me. It's kind of like the same lull in content, but like we had in Legion, waiting for Antorus to finally come out. It's just like, we're waiting, and the final raid is going to be here, and then that's what we'll be doing for a while, but there's just nothing until that finally drops. And when it does drop, bam, a lot of people are back on boat and doing everything they can in order to get through the raid and get through the fights and get all the gear. That's kind of how it's been feeling for me for the last 2 weeks. But I know that I've been enjoying this game a lot because I have a raiding guild and we are progressing Mythic. We are progressing through content that's fairly challenging. Cahoon is so far an interesting fight. We got only a few pulls last night, hoping to get more tonight. Then we have Mythic Plus, and I've been enjoying those a lot. I've been enjoying the fact that Rogue is in a good spot. I know back at Legion, Outlaw Rogue was just like in such a weird spot, but so many other classes were so well put together, and I feel like just a lot more people were overall happier because of how their classes played, even though everybody moaned and complained about artifact power farming. Like, it just didn't matter nearly as much. I feel like also in Legion, at the beginning of the expansion, we came off of Warlord's General, so I don't want to call Battle for Azeroth an expansion where we don't have anything to do, simply because back in Legion, we came off of Warlords. It was a starvation of content. There was absolutely, positively nothing to do. I mean, they had a whole patch for 6.1 all about selfie cam. Like, it was ridiculous compared to the stuff we ended up getting in Legion, dungeons and raids and content and updates and this and that and this fix, that fix, Karazhan, Mage Tower, like all these amazing things to do. Like, what felt like every month there was just something new, and that while you're waiting the whole month for new stuff, that whole month you're always doing something, you're always progressing in something. We had Mythic Pluses become a real big thing. That was extremely exciting. Some of the dungeons and bosses and mechanics and raids and transmogs and pieces and the artifact farming system and leveling up alts, and it was all new and exciting because we came off starvation, so even a little bit of a carrot dangling right in front of us was just more than enough to satisfy us. So now that we've had a good fill of all the content we've had in Legion, I feel like maybe there's basically not a drought of content as much as people are saying for BFA. And I feel like I don't want to say that quite yet. I want to wait to see how 8.1 comes out. And I'm just hesitant to say that, because we did come off of like starvation. We were emaciated. Emaciated? Is that the word? We were just we were lacking basic functional nutrients when we came off WoD. And Legion was a godsend. And now that we've had the fill of amazing content Legion thrown at us, the content that people are saying was amazing. Those same people called Legion trash when it first came out too. Those same people are saying it was the best expansion ever. And now we're in BFA where Mythic Pluses are still Mythic Pluses. Mythic rating and rating environment is still the Mythics and rating environment. Class changes are a little bit different. I feel like the PvP season has been a little bit more exciting, but it's only the first season. Definitely, I'll say that having a guild, having a group, and having people to play with has been definitely what's been keeping me playing. And it's super fun with friends. And I remember playing Legion, and I played most of it solo because my guild fell apart fairly quickly. My friends stopped playing, but I still enjoyed the hell out of the game by myself. I'm not sure, and I don't even want to try it. I don't know how I'd feel about the game if I just played it by myself. You know what I mean? I guess the game, World of Warcraft, I feel like was never really intended to be played by yourself. Like the things like LFR, I don't know if it's good for the game. I guess it was pretty good because of the stuff you could do all by yourself. But I don't really know. I don't know. Again, I don't want to call it a bad expansion just yet. I want to give it a go. I am super excited for stuff coming out in patch 8.1, and I'm very, very interested to see how it's all going to work. But I do want to be patient. I don't want to call anything that early, and I am going to be patient about it. I don't know. I just kind of want to say that as a last kind of conclusive thing. But yes, 8.1 definitely is going to feel like a real release of the game. They're doing so many great things for it. And I feel like it just opens up so many opportunities. My only question is, will Blizzard take the opportunity by, I don't know, by the toe, I guess, and run with it? And run like as far as they can with it. Like how hard are they going to commit to it? And how much effort are they going to put in? You know what I mean? Alright, I think I talked enough. Wasted you guys' time. Talked your ear off. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. As always, WoW Update is the type of video where I just want to get you guys' interactions and talking points in through comments. You guys are more than welcome to hit me up in the comments, and I'll love to read them and message back and respond. Thank you guys so much for the crazy support on the channel. It feels like I've been kind of been really trying to keep up with the videos and keep up with the content. It's a lot harder when there's not crazy updates happening all about 8.1 left and right. You know, when there's so much information coming out, it's so easy to make videos, but when you're just like waiting for 2 weeks for the next patch to come out, sometimes it can be kind of hard, and a creative block definitely does appear whenever I make videos. It's something that's kind of hard to get through, but I try to stay productive and, you know, trying to stay as creative as I can. Hey, if no ideas are coming to me, no ideas are coming to me. But as soon as they come in, I try to jump on and make videos, and I end up staying up until like 4 in the morning for some of them. So, yeah, so I do apologize if I have been sounding, or even when streams, I've been exhausted. It's just been kind of rough sometimes. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Peace.